So this is Juan Balmori here. I have an update for you with AppSource validation. Just to set up some context here, if you want to deploy your add-in using AppSource, basically our store, there's a validation process that is going on. We have a team of people who are validating that add-ins meet certain policies, and we have been making some improvements here. This process is around taking, I don't know, depending on the type of add-in you submit, between 3 and 2 weeks. And basically, we work to try to validate your add-ins as soon as we can, right? So I have a few updates here. Just take a couple of minutes. So yeah, I will cover 3 topics, basically. First of all, the most important update is that we have a browser support update. So in a nutshell, we will no longer reject add-ins that are not supporting Trident, or basically Internet Explorer. Well, that's huge news here. And then I'm going to talk a little bit also about validation failures. What are our top issues that the team is finding, so that when you submit an add-in, you kind of pay special attention to these issues so that your add-in, if you help us, your add-in will be validated way faster. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So first of all, the context about the Trident support. So many months ago, if you can recall, Microsoft, we announced that IE will no longer be supported for Office web applications. That didn't mean that add-ins were not supported in IE. It basically meant that the web apps, so if you went to Office for the web, basically Word will not be supported anymore in Internet Explorer. Right, and many people assumed that that was the same for Office add-ins, and that's not the case. We continue. In fact, today we continue to support IE in web add-ins, and we need to support it. Believe me, if it was a choice of my team, we will say IE is no longer supported. Everything is in WebView 2. But however, that's not possible because we have Office 2013, Office 2016, 2019 MSI. That we are still supporting these products until, as you can see on this slide, Office 2013 is going to be supported until April 11, 2023. 2016 and 2019 are going to be supported until 2025. So basically, there's still a universe of users that are on these products, and they don't have other browser options but Trident. So that's why we were still requiring it. Now, the good news here is that, if you're in Microsoft 365 subscription, if you have a subscription for Office 365, whether that subscription is a monthly subscription or a semi-annual subscription or a MEC subscription, most of you folks, and by most, I mean more than 95%, are now running on WebView 2. So basically, we were monitoring how active was the activations going on in WebView 2 versus all the other engines. And we finally are happy to announce that WebView 2 has become the mainstream in the Office add-in world. So a very, very significant percentage of Office add-ins are activated in WebView 2. And then as a result of this, what we are deciding in the store is that we are not basically, now we are recommending you to support Trident. We are not enforcing it. So basically, if you submit an add-in to the store and it fails loading in Trident, we are not going to reject your add-in, but we are going to basically what we call soft fail it, which means it's going to be approved, you're going to be in the store, and we will recommend you, to support Trident because, your add-in is not working in Trident, and maybe you will have a customer that is in 2016 or 2019 that they want to use your add-in, no? So that is, this decision is made effective immediately. So if any add-ins you submit today to the store will no longer be rejected based on lack of support for Trident. So those are the news for today. I personally recommend you to, if you feel that you have a universe of users who are very active in 2013 or 2016, I recommend you to support it. And basically, you will get the feedback. No, we have a review system in the store, so I think at this point, you will hear from customers if you really need to do it, and it's up to you to, how do you react to that feedback. So that's news number 1. By the way, we already updated our documentation. If you go to our website, Ricky just yesterday changed this paragraph that is basically summarizing what I just said here. So it's now public, policy is updated, it's all done. So moving on, I just want to talk to you about two topics here. Number one, top failures when validating add-ins. So the top failure up to recently was lack of support of Trident. That was the number one reason of failing an add-in in the store. But that is no longer an issue today. So the top 8 issues that come after that one are these ones, right? And the first 4 are kind of the concentrating the vast majority of the cases. So if, and by the way, this is, if you want to help you, this is basically what you need to put special focus on. The number one reason of failing an add-in is the testing notes, right? So basically people submit add-ins and they don't include how we can test them. So we don't have a test account that we can log into the add-in. So we don't have a very good idea of how to try your add-in in the different environments, right? And if we don't have this information, evidently, we cannot continue the validation, right? So please be as detailed as you can, sharing the details on how we should test your add-ins. Give us the accounts, the users and passwords we need, to test it, or how can we create a test account for it. Simplify our lives in this sense, and basically you should be fine. There's a very large volume of offers that have this issue. And it's basically, maybe your add-in is working perfectly, but just because our team is not able to load it, we need to reject it, right? And I have seen, many times that we reject many times an add-in that doesn't have clear testing notes. The second top failure, which is very related to the first one, is the first run experience. So many add-ins don't have a clear, this is a bit subjective, I would admit, but many times we don't know how to use an add-in. It's like the UX, the experience, there are not enough instructions on how to use it. There are some add-ins that are really beautiful and the design is it's very intuitive and it's kind of obvious what you need to do. And there are other cases where we don't know what to do first, So providing a good instructions on the first run experience, it's going to help a lot with your validation, right? If you are using an external service, many people forget to add a way to sign in, sign out of that service, or to sign up, if you don't have an account on that service, a way to kind of start an account, it's not exposed, And then the one that I want to also chat more here is the additional charges. So there are many offers in the store that require, they have like a free experience, but then require users to buy a subscription to a service or stuff like that. And you don't disclose that, in your submission. So every time you submit your add-in to AppSource and you're charging at some point for additional services, you need to tell us. This is kind of a legal thing that we need to support. So we appreciate that you help us with this. If you help us with those 4 issues, I am pretty sure that your add-in is going to be validated in less than 1 or 2 days. Okay. So, and the third thing that was the second topic. The third thing that I want to talk to you about is that now we have like a direct engagement with the validation team mechanism in place. So what used to happen in this until recently was that, let's say you submit an add-in and we find an issue and we reject it, and you want to challenge that decision. You're saying, hey, guys, why are you rejecting? And basically you escalate the situation, right? What used to happen is that we were creating a support ticket in CSS. So we were involving our support organization here. And evidently that came with a little bit of, that our response time was increased significantly just by involving the support organization. But now there's a way that you can actually contact us directly, right? So the way this works is that every time that we send you an email after your certification or your validation, we send you a report, that what happened, why we rejected your add-in, what were the policies that were kind of violated that you needed to fix. And then we are including a link, to a form to contact my team directly. So basically, if you fill up this form, that you will find the link in your email, we will get your case directly, the validation team, and we will immediately start working on your case. And if needed, we can meet with you and talk about what's going on, right? So that's also good news that I have to share with you. And in fact, that's what I have for today. I see there are a few comments in the chat that I will address in the chat. Thank you.